Okay, first tube to test is the 1S5. Got the tube tester here all set up. Got it pulled up on the scroll. Tube type A is set on 1. B, filament voltage is on 1.4. C, the load is on, for this first test, 41. 4, 5, and 6 are in the up position. 7 is in the down. So this is the triode portion of the tube. Use my line adjust to get the center line. Okay. So the triode test comes in about 86 there. 86 for that guy. And the second test, 4, 5, and 6 come back down, and the 3 goes up. So this is the diode portion of the tube getting tested. And I get about 72 on that one. And the mu value for the 1S5, reading it from the chart on the triode curves, it's about 28 volts on the plate for 2 volts on the grid. So 28 divided by 2, that's a mu value of about 14. All right, next tube. The 6C4. Type 2, 6.3. A load of 25, up 1, 5, and 6, down 4 and 7. There he goes. And the test value is around 56 or 57. And according to its spec sheet, it has a mu value of 19.5. Okay, let's get all these things in the test harness and give them a listen. Well, as a cautionary tale, someone made a comment in the previous video that there was a bold statement that needed to come up front and make sure that the power is disconnected before you start twiddling all the knobs and changing things around. And I did that, but I neglected to change the filament voltage, and the 1S5 tube popped when 6.3 volts was shoved through the 1.4 volt filament. But I do have other tubes that I can test. I am going to work with the 1U4, which is not a necessarily good tube, but it does have some of the same properties and characteristics of that 1S5 that really didn't sound that good. These tend to be noisy, they hiss a lot, and there's some odd harmonic action that happens. I think the tube is microphonic. So as it's sitting there on top of the speaker and it's vibrating, I think that's actually getting back into the tube and it's rattling the tube around in the socket. So you're hearing that vibration as well. It comes across as like this weird octave. Anyway, here's a quick demo of that particular tube. Setting up the test harness for the 1U4. Grid is on pin 6. There isn't a cathode, so that's on no connection. Filament plus is on pin 7. Negative filament on pin 1. Screen is on pin 3. Ground internally, that's connected to F minus, so I just have him on no connection. And the plate is on pin 2. And to make sure that I had this thing set right, yay verily, I'm at 1.4 volts. Now I've got the 1U4 in here, and when I turn up the volume, you should start hearing a lot of hiss. This is something that's characteristic to these hot cathode types of tubes. There isn't a cathode in particular, and I've got the cathode dial here set on no connection. The filament itself is the cathode, and it's boiling off these electrons that pass through the grid onto the plate. They tend to be very noisy. They don't have a really good sharp sound. They don't amplify as well as something with a separate cathode, and I think there's a reason for that. Let's just give a quick listen to how this thing sounds. I've got the volume up about halfway. All right, so it doesn't sound bad. It's just there's not a whole lot there. It's uninspiring. That's the best way I can describe it. All right, let's set this thing up for another tube, and I'll show you some of the differences with that. Let's try that 6C4. Okay, so 6, 7, 4, 3, no connection, pin 1. If I had to make this thing again, I would see about figuring out what this resistance needs to be in order to quickly go from one filament voltage to the other. So there I am on 6.3. I've got the volume down. I've made all of the switch connections. I haven't changed anything in terms of the other settings for the circuit. So this is exactly the same gain circuit, just using the 6C4 tube, which I've got here. All right, so I've got a little bit of a buzz, but notice that the hiss is gone. Hear a little bit of that buzz there, but it should sound a whole lot clearer. So it sounds better. It's maybe a little bit less gain, so it doesn't break up quite as much. But the presence is more there. There's like more, well, there's more signal and less noise. So edge of breakup kind of sound. There's just not a whole lot of it there. I know I can change some things around, like with the cathode setting. I need to bring this in and show you the controls and show you what I'm doing here. You've seen me change the controls for the pins, and I've changed the filament voltage here. Now my input is coming in here, and I've got a switch here for the bypass cap going into the grid. These are the grid leak resistors. All right, so these next two controls, this is my cathode. So this is the cathode resistor and the bypass cap, and I've got it in that last position so it's removed from the circuit. And these last two controls up here, these are for the screen and the plate resistor, maybe around the 400K level, and this guy's not in the circuit at all. And then there's my output that goes to the rest of the test amp. Volume up about halfway again. Okay, so that's really, really quiet. And just putting this bypass cap back in, you can tell how much more gain is in there. Okay, so I can also change things on, drop that resistance down a little bit. That should be a little bit hotter. Turn the plate resistor down. Let's say it's about halfway, so that should be about 250K. So it sounds better. There's a few other tweaks I can do, but the 64, even though it's a pretty decent tube, it's not the best tube that I've tried out of my stash. Let me show you another one that's really good, and this one really is surprising. I haven't talked about this one before. It's a Chinese tube. It's a 6J1, and I took this out of a headphone project that I made and have since destroyed and taken apart. Let's give this one a listen. This one is like pure magic. All right, so I'm back. Got the test harness warmed up. It's going. What I really like about this tube, this one in particular, it seems to have a little bit more sparkle playing leads and stuff. My playing is lacking, so apologies there, but it's inspiring. This thing actually makes me want to play something. So there you have it. You've got a couple of different tubes. I've tested them. I tried them out in the test harness. I gave a little bit of playing for a demo to at least expose some of the differences in the test values for a tube and how they sound. The sound quality and the test value for a tube are something that's radically different. So this is a handy device to have for trying out different tubes and seeing how they sound. The thing that was really surprising for me here was there's like this inspiration value that different tubes impart to the guitar signal. Regardless of how they test on the emissions tester, if it sounds good, whatever it does to that magic guitar frequency range that sounds good, it's motivating to play, and it makes me want to play something. It makes me want to play better. But anyway, the frustrations that I've had with cell phone recordings, there's a lot of stuff that went into it. I've got a new mic because the lapel mic I was using stopped working for whatever reason. But I wanted to get this thing done. And ultimately, I just decided to rip out the microphone and went for just the basic, simple, here it is, man. Just let me hold the phone up to it. It's like when I was a teenager, I'd call my friend. I'd say, hey, man, check out this new guitar riff. And I'd lay the phone down by the amp and I'd play something. Oh, dude, that's cool. So, yeah, going really old school here. I'm rambling. I appreciate you guys being here. And if you're digging this kind of stuff and you want to see more, do consider subscribing to the channel. I'd appreciate it. And I'd love to see you guys coming up for the stuff that I've coming up next. Anyway, see you guys next time. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments, and we'll see you later.